Welcome to Good Night Book with Erica and Nate.
What movie were they watching or show where they were terrified in your social media post?
I don't know why they looked like that. They weren't terrified at all. I think Wes was terrified because 80 was sitting on her and probably bit her shortly after that.
Do you think he saw... Well, whatever. We don't need to talk about
Were you going to ask if it was because I showed him all those vampire movies?
Yeah, I didn't want to, come across as judgy.
Yeah. But, you did tell me a bunch of times not to show him Interview with a Vampire.
It's true. But I think we talked about it not too long ago, and how can you not show him the best vampire movie of all time?
The best Tom Cruise movie, the best vampire movie. Mm-hmm. They really captures. Oh, wow. We both said captures. This book, this book is art, so is Interview with a Vampire. I guess. Or Tom Cruise? Is Tom Cruise art? Maybe that's the overarching question we're addressing.
I think he's aged into being art. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to tell you, whenever I walk around the room, his eyes follow me. It is fucked up.
What?
It's one of those paintings. So obviously today we're talking about Press Here by Hervé Tullet. It's called Press Here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do our synopses.
Sure.
This is totally an art book, by the way.
It's lovely. Yeah. Yeah, this is the segue. If you don't know
actually, you already answered my first question. My first question is, do you like art? So you just told me that you do like art, kind of. But we'll get to that later. This is a tease.
That's
okay.
Really easy to sum up my feelings about art in that sentence. An action-packed guide on colored dots. It's a lot more fun than it sounds.
True.
You go.
Mine is sounds like some sort of critique. I don't know. I wrote it in a specific voice.
Okay.
That's you'll hear it. It sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like somebody annoying. Oh, it's me. Children's literature gamified. This book is an illusion of interaction that is really fun until your kid ever sees one iPad. That's what I was like. While I was reading it the other day, I was reading it with 80, and I was like, "Oh, this is really neat." Haha. And I was like, "Oh wait, this would be." Oh, I was almost thinking to myself, "Boy, this would be cooler as an iPad
in a game."
Yeah,
that's really apropos. I just was on. Olive goes to school late, so we hang out in the mornings, and while we're waking up, she hangs out on her iPad.
She goes to school late because you like her to have that kind of attitude, where she walks in, you want her to have that mysterious, bad boy, bad girl.
Yeah, we practice tossing chairs out of the way at home so she can do it super on cue.
She always has a cigarette butt behind her ear. Okay.
Right. It kind of comes in with a Fonz waggle.
I guess that's what
Hey, Johnny. Yeah, like that. I think we're just describing Grease, but like that. So she was on her iPad this morning as we woke up, and we had this whole conversation where she wanted to watch a show on it, and I was like, no. We're getting into the nuance of what's acceptable on an iPad. I was like, no, because then you won't talk to me. If you play a game or you're drawing, then at least you'll keep me posted and I can engage with you. I can't totally lose you to the screens. I'm really worried about your screen time. So we had this whole screen time conversation, and then I proceeded to watch this book on a screen with her. And I was like, do you remember this? Isn't this fun? Isn't this amazing? And she was like, meh. After having just gotten off her iPad, it was this kind of horrible moment where I was like, oh yeah, we've gone full screen. And she used to love this book. No longer. I want to just do these things.
Yeah, we don't allow our children to have screens. Somebody came by door to door trying to install screens in our kids? And I said, absolutely not. Because I said, is it a touch screen? And they said no. And I was like, what is the fucking point? You know what I mean? Like, how am I operating this kid then?
I know.
Remotely? Like on my phone, like then you gotta hook up the Bluetooth, and I'm just
I know, and apps can like get your data and send them to China.
Exactly.
Good.
And I don't want anybody to have my data, much less China. I don't know. I was trying to think of a joke, and that's why I kept repeating it. But it's, I was like, "Is China Phillips a person? And who is China Phillips?" She was on, and then I was like, "Is that the person? Was she on China
Wilson
Beach?"
Phillips.
But no, that's Mannheim's sister, not Phillips' sister. Do you know who I'm talking about? Carolyn Mannheim.
No.
You'd recognize her. She was from, never mind. Oh my God, LA Law maybe or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, wow. We're deep in the 80s.
Yeah, we're deep in 80s like drama. Yeah. And
like primetime drama.
Now, look, you guys don't come here for 80s drama. When is this book from? This book is from 2011, I think. So
okay, good job.
Thank you so much. I looked it up in the book. And it said 2011. I was confused though. Hold on now. Is your version shit's getting serious. Erica's taking her sweater off. She's ready to. She tried to roll up her sleeves to get into this, and then she's like, I can't get them up far enough. This is the board book I have. Did you have the board book version?
No, we had a paper.
Do you know? I wonder if it's the same. If it's just like
it is
a medium difference.
Well, I don't know.
Because, like the board book, the Peter Rabbit board book was wildly different from... or wait, Peter Rabbit? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
Well, there's a lot of steps to like get to... What is the penultimate thing? It's like... You clap really loudly and the circles get bigger until it's only yellow with a white dot in the middle. And then there's some pages with like black background and yellow dots.
Yeah, I think this is probably the same. I think it's just a board. I think it's just the change in the version. I did a little research to try to find that out. And by little research, I meant I spent about 2.5 hours this morning. I've been up since pre-dawn trying to solve this puzzle, and I haven't yet, but that's okay.
Well, I think the papery ones came first, and then they're like, "Oh, children are ripping the hell out of these books because the whole concept,
pressing so hard, right? Exactly, that's true. Yeah. So, did you have to operate it? So, right now with 80, I have to operate the book because he doesn't get it.
You do the touching and stuff.
He does some of the pressing, but he doesn't do it right, and I won't move on until he does it exactly right.
Well.
I don't say no.
Learn.
Yeah, I don't say no or anything. I just sit there silently.
And then he looks at you and starts to well up.
Mm-hmm. And then he bites me.
Mm-hmm. We've established.
So first of all, I wanted to say off the top, when I saw the name of this book, I thought it was going to be about a reporter. Like showing up somewhere, saying press here. And it wasn't about that. So I was pretty surprised. Yeah,
it's the real pivot from that.
Pivot. Remember last week when we talked about that great book?
I do. I was trying to do a little bit of a callback.
Yes, but I really called it out. I really like to shine.
You did it.
A light on. I don't like to be subtle about these things. It's not what Matthew would have wanted. Now, let's go back to my question. Do you like art? This is a very artistic rendering, and Hervé is an artist. He's listed as an artist first. So, do you like art?
I do like art.
Now, next, what is the best art?
The best art.
It depends on how you define art, of course,
Oh my
which
God.
is just a quick conversation we could have.
Sure. Yeah. I think we've already established that. Let's just assume that we agree on what art is.
Let's just have the conversation off here quick. Let's stop down. Okay, now we've definitely figured it out. Do you agree with that? Our terms, Erica?
Yeah. I think the parameters have been set fairly.
Okay. It's much later at night now. But I'm glad we found that out.
We had to get an independent meat eater. It was fine.
We had to get an independent meat eater, actually, because we ordered all these meat lovers pizzas.
Right in the middle both vegetarian.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. And action. Now we'll start the podcast. Welcome to Good Night Book. Okay, so your favorite art, you're still thinking about it.
Yeah, do you have an answer?
Yeah, based
off the top of your head?
Yeah, well, based on
you've had some time
parameters, we've had some time to think about it. I got some snack, and I think what we're doing right now is it. This is my favorite piece of art. Is what's happening this moment. Yeah, because it's so fresh. It's like doesn't get more current.
And then somebody could take this and make it their own art. I mean, we could be like a sample in a Lady Gaga song in 2 years. We don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm going to call Stephanie. Is that her name?
So, good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's just like I had to learn a name because I cannot call someone Lady Gaga,
Oh, okay.
Just can't do it.
Wait. That's my favorite art is Lady Gaga.
Is the meat suit? Did she wear a meat suit?
Yeah, that's not my favorite art. Just her.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, that's pretty good. Mine is Art Garfunkel.
Oh.
The sound of silence. Did we lose him? Why'd you sound sad?
He's still with us.
Oh, is that why you're sad? That's kind of mean. Anyway, let's move on, I guess. One of my highlights here is, you had referred to this briefly, the black background page with the bright colors and everything. That reminded me viscerally of something, and I can't quite place what it is. I have it confused. It's not one of the things I think it is. It's the other thing. So I'll tell you, they're both from art class in Mount Horeb.
Oh, funny.
Mr. Johnson, that's where I definitely first remembered. It's first grade, Mr. Johnson. And it was, actually, I remember one of these from kindergarten. There was one where you would take a little scalpel thing and cut at a black mat. And
yes.
So you'd make an ink, a thing you could make an impression from.
Yeah.
I guess, like a stamp in a way.
Yes.
But then there's this other thing that was this special kind of paper that was black, but then you would scratch. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. You'd scratch off of, you'd scratch the black stuff off it, and there was rainbow colors behind it. Mm-hmm. Is that true? And I remember.
Yes. Well, I don't remember that in art class. I remember the first thing as you said that in art class. I remember that. I remember making a really bad dog in a landscape.
Oh, it sucks. That one seems worse than drawing because it's seems so worse if you fuck it up. And I would always fuck it up because I would go big and then just I don't know how to do that. I'm drawing a rendering of Tom Cruise. I don't even know Tom Cruise's work much yet.
I don't even understand how to draw, let alone translate a drawing into a car.
This is the first time anyone has let me touch a blade. And now I think I'm gonna make a line drawing of my childhood home.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do a Van Gogh.
So where's that other thing from, then?
Well, I don't know, but they're very popular now. You can get them.
Oh, they're popular now. They weren't popular when we were kids.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, you weren't popular when we were kids, so maybe you wouldn't have run into it.
They kept me from those things. When you're not popular.
They were at the parties I was at. Maybe that's
in first grade.
At Showbiz Pizza, where a kid can be a kid.
Yeah. What's the difference between Showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, I love this joke. What? The difference is Chuck E. Cheese.
Listeria. Damn it.
Listeria. now don't be hysterical. Chuck E. Cheese bought Showbiz when he got.
So we grew up going to Showbiz in Madison. There wasn't a Chuck E. Cheese until much later.
There wasn't a Chuck E. Cheese until a little later. It wasn't much later, but it was a little later.
And then
remember it showed up by Chi-Chi's? Remember that? Remember Chi-Chi's?
Yeah, I do remember Chi-Chi's. Chuck E. Cheese was like a favorite date spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have some memories. Deb will tell you. Deb or Sarah, I think I went on a date with both of them.
Were you a little kid and this was an adult man?
No.
Is this what we're unpacking right now?
No.
Okay, good.
No, both of our friends, Sarah and Deb, were asked out on dates. And then I was like, for Sarah, I had to be her chaperone. Her mom wouldn't let her go on a date. So I went with her on her date. And then Deb was just so uncomfortable. She was asked out by somebody who was like 2 years younger and she had to drive. And then I went with them in the van, in the conversion van.
Who's that?
It was
ask it that way?
I can't think of his younger brother. Oh my God. Okay, it'll come to me.
Art.
Let's move on. Yes, it was Art. It's our favorite Art. It was Art.
Yeah, I know Art. Yeah, okay. That's funny.
Yep.
That's really funny.
I know. It was so awkward. The one with Sarah.
Did he hook up with Sarah?
No. No, her date had like a two-door car so then when they picked me up last. So then Sarah had to get out and then fold the seat forward and then I climbed into the back. I mean, you can't.
That's super fun. And then to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
I'm pretty sure one of them was at Chuck E. Cheese, yeah. I know one of them was.
They have decent pizza, games.
Yeah, and that show?
But why not go to the? Yeah, that's true. They're really in it for the music for the show.
Yeah,
they have their Chuck E. Cheese tour shirts out.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
They don't come here very
They have
often.
their Showbiz shirts on. That's like the old school fans,
I'm getting really uncomfortable. I just can't even believe I let us go here. So, Art was a lovely date and is also really a nice base for this book.
Yeah, got us right back in there. That was elegant.
Really hot. Yeah.
Do you ever? Eric is uncomfortable. I think I wanted to say the handwriting in this I find very comforting. I find it a lot like my handwriting, actually, which I think.
Yeah. You like to see yourself in all the books that we read. I know that. You're always looking for yourself.
I like the big, playful all caps. I think that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes, we all know that sometimes all caps feel shouty, but it does not feel shouty.
Do you think? I wonder. I'd like to know if it's a font or if it's
his handwriting.
Yeah.
Right. Envé. What?
It looks pretty. Hervé Tullet. Hervé
Tullet.
Yeah, it's Hervé Tullet. Hey, I'm Hervé Tullet. Let me give you this book. It's easy to read, which is nice.
Did Wes get more interactive with it? You were saying with 80, you have to kind of manage it. With Wes, did she? Yeah.
As she got older, she figured it out, but then lost interest pretty fast, or maybe I did. I don't know. Because it's just like, it's not like it's fun to read, but it's not really, it's not like relaxing. It's not like, something about it is a little irritating.
Well, it sounds like you have to manage it. So it's like a job kind of for you.
And then you get I don't know. Also, it's just like things that have specific instructions for my children aren't necessarily the best things. Yeah. Like, it puts me in a weird position of like, do I give a shit at all? Am I, you know what I mean? Like, am I supposed to try to get them to do it right?
Now, yeah.
Yeah, well, now I'm in charge. Like I didn't have enough to do. Now
Thought
I
the
gotta
book was in charge.
now I gotta like decide what my expectations for my children is.
Post.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay. I have to take me a while to get there.
That's our last name. We wanted to properly dox him. That's what Eric has been stressed out about.
Oh my God. Okay, so part of this book is that you suspend disbelief, like so many of them, but in a really different way, almost like you have this power, this magic.
Should we say anything about what this book is like? Because we have not at all.
I know.
It's basically like a bunch of dots. It's a bunch of dots, and it gives you instructions like, okay, now press this yellow dot, see what happens. On the next page, there's like 3 yellow dots, and it's like, okay, give it another press. And it's like, so it's interactive in that way. And it gives instructions, and then it's like the next page is the result of the previous page. So it's like tactile and cause and effect, but totally fake. Anyway, I just thought in case somebody didn't know what we were talking about, they would be like,
what is going on? Why are we talking about?
Who are these people? Where am I? Why am I?
Why am I listening to this?
I'm scared. Who put me here?
Well, my next question is about magic and the belief in magic. And, there is that window for this book for kids where it doesn't matter that it's like, as an adult, you're like, okay, I got to turn the page after you did the things to see the result of the things. And it doesn't track for adults. But for kids, I think it might feel like cool. Like they never think to go like from backwards to front to like test to see if they actually need to do these things, right?
Right.
They're just assuming
or just don't do it
in your fashion, or don't do it,
or they do not do it a lot though, and still get the same results. So
that's true.
Well, maybe I don't know. That is kind of like that was one of my questions was, do you ever feel weird tricking kids with shit like this, like just in general? Like there's all sorts of things that we do to trick our kids for fun. Maybe turn your volumes down if you're listening with your children right now.
Yeah.
Santa's dead, and we don't tell the kids that.
I know.
So
it's a big topic at this time of year.
Right.
Where it just came up in my work meeting the other day where somebody at Thanksgiving was having a very heated conversation about lying to their children in the spirit of creating, quote, magic. But if you yourself are not into that magic, it is very hard to create that for your children. So I think it kind of depends. Like if you yourself have some kind of love of that and
some
can
sort of
sustain
psychosis,
that somehow.
Some sort of mental issues. Yeah. Uh-huh.
You're trying to escape the grim reality that we all live in and trying to create magic for your children. Good for you. Good for you. I know some people whose kids who are the same age as my child. I have one child. I don't know why I always do that. Who still
we're all God's
persist
children.
with that belief. It's true.
And you're God, and you think you're God.
Yes.
You're my God. Yeah. I feel like, there's something weird about it, like with the Santa Claus thing or with other things. It's just like the idea. Sometimes I feel like it was like I had one impression of how things were, and then like the surprise of discovering that the world is so gnarly and people can be so mean and that you don't usually get what you want. Like,
I know.
I feel like I'm still like, like that was like my entire adulthood has just been like, what? So like, that's why I always, that's why I make my kids read the newspaper.
Yeah. Give them a sense of what's happening in Gaza.
Yeah. Not the lamestream media though. They read the Weekly World News.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think they shut down. Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah. I think I wonder if that's when all magic dies, is when that if your family goes in for Santa Claus and then the curtain is pulled back. Yeah, what a rough transition. I think Olive was always a little skeptical, and she kept asking us, And we were trying to, well, I was making more of an effort, but really never liked lying to her about this particular one because he doesn't really get into this like holiday.
He doesn't
so like,
believe in
why
Santa.
would he? He does not. I mean, I kind of do still.
You're right. Well, somebody's been walking on the roof.
And buying my child presents, not me.
Yeah, right. Somebody's been stealing presents from Walmart, and I don't know who it is.
Somebody's been really utilizing that self-checkout aisle for a few more untracked items.
Those are robots. I don't use robots. I don't believe in them. I don't like them. And I never will like them. And here, let me tell you why. Robots are scary. They're 100110010. I'm putting that in there to throw the robots off. I just said robots are nice and binary. Are you back?
You're very clever. I just have a dog barking in the background. Can you hear him?
I was trying to vamp.
You're doing great. Keep going.
Sorry, that just made me think of Tom Cruise again. An interview with a vampire. So let me talk about that. Vampires are scary, sure, but they're really charming and can be handsome, just like Tom Cruise. Imagine if Tom Cruise would have jumped up on the couch, then turned into a bat and flown over and bitten Oprah. Imagine that.
You know what? I want him to like revisit that whole moment in his life and have like a little bit more of a sense of humor, but also own it in that way that you just described. Like, that's a really good scenario. There's probably a couple other ones. Like, it could be like a Mission Impossible stunt where like a fucking helicopter is flying overhead. He jumps on the couch and he grabs onto a helicopter. How would we get a hold of him? These are such good ideas.
To, like, reshoot to like get together with Oprah. Is that what you mean? Like relive it that way?
Yes,
like, to
exactly.
reshoot it and to like because they can de-age people now with differing results for De Niro, but they can de-age people. Not that Tom needs it. You know what I mean? Let's face it. He looks like a 9-year-old boy with scissor hands. I mean, knife hands. But to be perfectly honest, I would watch a movie about that moment.
A movie?
Like a documentary?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking like reshoot it as an action movie.
Like a feature film. Okay.
About that moment.
That would be
that's
amazing.
maybe the climax, and then they rewrite it. You've got to beef it up and put the helicopter in there and everything. Would Oprah play herself? How is she aged? I haven't really seen her lately, to be honest.
Yeah, I bet she looks great. I mean, yeah,
she's drinking
I feel like
blood of children. Let's face it.
That's very true.
Democrats.
I think it's okay. Well, I could see this going a number of different ways. Let's keep brainstorming this offline, and then we'll put together a pitch.
Okay.
We both have access to the people that can make this happen. So.
Oh yeah, I know Oprah from that time I went to Chicago in 9th grade. I ran into her and we really hit it off. Because as you know, my favorite color is purple. And she was in the color purple.
I know. I got the reference. I'm just not quite sure how to respond to it.
You just don't like it? I think Erica's audio cut out, so I think we're just going to go. Well, that's all we have to say about Press Here. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review and tell somebody you like about us. And if you don't like it, then, I don't know, tell somebody you hate? ? For a transcript of this episode or any episode, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen, and we will send you back a Post-it note that's stuck together the wrong way, and so you can't pry it apart. And you'll be like, what does it say in there? And I'll be like, I don't know. Until next time, good night, Mush. Good night, creepy old lady. And good night, book.
The end.